Andre Rieu had it all. Wealth so vast, it rivaled rock legends, castles fit for royalty, and sold-out arenas everywhere. Still, behind the shining costumes, bright lights, and loud applause, an unexpected story unfolded. Andre built a $40 million empire with classical music alone, something almost unheard of for even top pop stars today. But then why did this huge fortune bring tears to his family? Andre started with nothing. As a boy, he loved music. His father was the conductor of the Symphony Orchestra, so music was always part of his life. Yet Andre knew from an early age he didn't want to sit quietly in a formal concert hall. He craved something bigger, louder, more thrilling. His goal was to have crowds clap, sing, and jump from their seats. Step by step, he created exactly that. In 1987, Andre took a big risk. He wanted to make himself a legend or lose everything. He created the Johann Strauss Orchestra, but not just a small group. It was a full-stage entertainment show. What began with only 12 musicians soon grew to over 60 from around the world. Andre didn't perform only classical waltzes. He mixed Strauss pieces with modern hits. The shows became a hit. Tickets sold fast. He went from filling theaters to stadiums worldwide. Money came in faster than anyone expected. By the early 2000s, Andre outsold big names like AC/DC, Bruce Springsteen, and Coldplay. His shows made millions each night. His DVDs sold in every country. Fans traveled thousands of miles, paid big prices, and cheered like they were at rock concerts. His empire grew fast, and his wealth soared. He became the richest violinist alive. But Andre didn't hide his money or keep it in the bank. He spent it on bigger and bolder shows. In 2008, he nearly lost everything with a $30 million stage for a concert at Vienna's Schönbrunn Palace. The stage looked like a fairy tale, full of gold, crystals, and fancy details. Fans loved it, but the price nearly broke him. The cost pushed him close to bankruptcy. It almost wiped out decades of earnings overnight. Andre had taken risks before, but this one nearly destroyed him. Still, he refused to give up. Slowly, he held concert after concert. He paid off his debts and made his shows even bigger. Within a few years, he was richer than ever. He came back stronger and smarter. He expanded his shows to theaters worldwide, streaming performances in cinemas. Fans who couldn't travel still paid top dollar to see him on the big screen. His wealth didn't just bounce back. It doubled and tripled. By 2023, Andre's fortune reached $40 million. But he didn't build this alone. His family was there from the beginning, especially his wife Marjorie, who was more than just a partner. Marjorie designed costumes, helped choose venues, and created stage sets that became famous around the world. Together, they made every show unforgettable and built an entertainment empire that was truly a family business. Their son Pierre took on a key role as vice president of Andre Rieu Productions, turning the company into a musical dynasty. Andre's shows became legendary, but he never forgot where he came from. He lived in Maastricht in a castle built in 1452, an actual castle, not just a fancy house. This was the place where D'Artagnan of the Three Musketeers ate his last meal before dying in battle. Andre had dreamed of owning it since he was a child, and now he did. He invested millions into transforming every part of it into a palace filled with priceless art, sparkling chandeliers, and fairy tale gardens. It looked like something straight out of a movie, and Andre lived it every day. Even with all his wealth, Andre kept pushing forward. He expanded his concerts and toured non-stop around Europe, America, Australia, and Japan. Every year his tours grew bigger, his audience larger, and his wealth increased. He wasn't just a singer anymore. He was a superstar, a global icon with a brand that kept making more money. Despite his fame, Andre had a surprising habit: baking. During the 2020 lockdown, when concerts stopped and ticket sales vanished, Andre did something unexpected. He started baking cakes and sharing them with neighbors. It wasn't fancy or flashy, just simple kindness. It reminded everyone that behind the huge empire was a man who still valued community and simple joys. But Andre's wealth depended on him working all the time. In 2010, he got very sick with a bad ear infection. The whole business nearly fell apart. Doctors said it was a miracle he hadn't gotten sicker sooner. His schedule was so demanding that his family realized how fragile their success was. Everything they built relied on Andre's health. One illness or canceled tour could lose them millions instantly. Andre recovered and kept going, refusing to slow down. He wanted to keep making music and money flow. Still, the stress was intense. Fans saw him perform with a smile, but behind the scenes, his family fought to handle the empire that was worth millions. Each show was a risk, costing money for sets, venues, musicians, and ads. One mistake could ruin everything. Andre also built Dot, a business empire. Hidden from view, he invested millions in luxury homes across Europe. Fans knew about his castle in Marek, but few saw how big his property collection had become. That castle wasn't just a fancy home. It had a long history. Built in 1452, it once belonged to Charles de Bat's Castelmore d'Artagnan, the real person who inspired the musketeer in The Three Musketeers. When Andre first saw this place, it wasn't fancy at all. He stepped inside at age 6 for piano lessons. It definitely wasn't love at first sight. The building was dark, starting to fall apart, and kind of eerie, not exactly where you'd imagine living your best life. Decades later, that creepy old castle became the center of Andre's empire. It was transformed from a gloomy ruin to a stunning estate that looked like a fairy tale. Inside, Andre surrounded himself with luxuries most only see on TV. For example, he owned a rare violin made by Antonio Stradivari in 1692. Andre bought it in 2018 for around £7 million. This was his third Stradivarius. His first, from 1667, was one of the earliest pieces made by the master. It was hard to play, but Andre turned its tough sound into success. He recorded some of his best albums with it. Andre owned several multi-million-dollar violins and didn't just love music. He was in a league of his own. His luxury lifestyle went beyond instruments. He controlled every detail of his concerts, even what his orchestra wore. The female musicians' gowns were special. Andre designed each one, inspired by historical figures like Empress Elizabeth of Austria. The dresses cost about £3,000 each. With dozens of musicians, those costs added up. It's no surprise that Andre almost went bankrupt over his stage designs. Remember that stage set in Vienna in 2008? It looked just like the Schönbrunn Palace, with fountains, ice rinks, gold carriages, and dancers. It was impressive but costly. Andre spent around £34 million building it. He made 3 different stage sets and toured them worldwide. All the money went quickly. The shows were flashy and impressive, but almost broke him. Andre had to speak with his bank about what they could take away to pay his debts. Somehow he recovered and came out stronger. This man was unstoppable, or so it seemed. At home, things looked calm and cozy. Life inside a castle was as normal as it could be. Andre married Marjorie in 1975, and they had two sons, Marc and Pierre. Their family photos hung on the castle walls. These photos showed simpler days when Andre first started. Now his family played big roles in his business. Marjorie helped him write the words for his concerts. Her scripts added meaning to his music. Millions of fans around the world listened. Pierre, their younger son, became vice president of Andre Rieu Productions. Family dinners looked like simple meals, but they were really business meetings. Family and work mixed at every meal. Behind the glitz and fancy desserts, Andre's childhood was far from happy. Growing up in a small, crowded house in MRI with 5 siblings was tough. His father was an orchestra conductor, but he didn't give Andre much love. His mother was even stricter. Andre thought they were jealous of his talent because he started playing the violin at age 5 and was already good in weeks. Music became his escape from hard times. Still, the pain stayed with him. It pushed him to seek more success, approval, and luxury. This desire was clear when Andre first started his career. In 1978, he formed his first band. With just 12 musicians, they played at weddings and small restaurants. Money was scarce. Audiences barely noticed them. Sometimes they didn't even look up from their food. Andre almost gave up on music. He joked about opening a pizza place instead. Imagine Andre Rieu serving pizza with a violin in hand. Luckily, he kept going. Millions of fans around the world are grateful he did. In 1987, Andre reorganized his group and created what is now known as the Johann Strauss Orchestra. He admired Johann Strauss, the waltz king, who showed that musicians could also be smart about business. Strauss ran 5 orchestras at once. Andre chose to lead one very large orchestra. It is the biggest privately owned orchestra in the world. They performed worldwide in stadiums in Europe and sold out arenas across America and Asia. Andre's fame grew suddenly in 1995 during a soccer game. Ajax played Bayern Munich in the Champions League final. During halftime, Andre bought a minute of live TV to show his music. Ajax scored right before halftime, and Andre played Shostakovich's Walt Nunu live on TV. The next week, he sold over 200,000 CDs. That made him an instant global star. One soccer goal changed everything. Success fueled bigger dreams. Andre spent millions making his shows spectacular. He used fake snow, balloon drops, and fancy gowns. Every show was a big celebration. He insisted on serving real champagne during performances. Even though he didn't drink it, he wanted the real thing for fans. Critics often questioned him. He didn't care. He wanted things to feel real. There are no shortcuts or pretending in Andre's life. Despite his wealth, he stayed down to earth. He collected Tintin comics, learned Spanish by reading crime novels during lockdown, and kept a toy truck from childhood. That truck was more than a toy. It reminded him of simpler times when he and his brother Robert built cars from scrap wood and old wheels. Andre wasn't just a collector stuck in the past. He focused on what was next. His orchestra grew larger than ever, now the biggest private orchestra in the world. With over 60 musicians and support staff, Andre had grander plans. He didn't just want to be a top classical musician or sell millions of albums. He aimed to do something no one else ever had. Andre dreamed of performing a concert on the moon. Yes, the moon. He wasn't joking. He even talked seriously with billionaire Richard Branson about building a hotel on the lunar surface. Branson, known for crazy ideas, promised it could happen. Andre wanted to take his big Jan Strauss orchestra, instruments included, to perform the first space concert. It sounded wild, but he was the man who made classical music beat Beyoncé and Metallica in sales. If anyone could pull off a lunar concert, it was Andre Rieu. But how did he get so successful and ambitious? Unlike most classical groups, Andre built his orchestra from scratch. In the late 80s, he had almost nothing, just a dream and a few musicians who believed in him. From the start, Andre took big risks. With no sponsors or help from the government, he reinvested every dollar from ticket sales and albums into his orchestra. Today, it costs him at least $1 million each month to run. That doesn't include touring costs. Every show has to sell out, and every album must be a hit. If not, the whole project could fall apart. Andre keeps about 110 people working for him. They include musicians, lighting techs, cooks, and others. There are also 100 freelancers who handle logistics, travel, and marketing worldwide. His operation is more than a business. It's like family. His second family travels the world together, setting up and taking down huge stage sets. In cities from Mexico City to Sydney, 9 big trucks carry lights, costumes, instruments, props, and gear. His crew works non-stop. Building, they stage at 7 a.m., then tearing it down after the 3-hour show ends around midnight. Every show feels magical to the crowd. But behind the scenes, it's hard work and discipline. Andre runs a tight ship. No wild rock star behavior allowed. There are no wild parties. His team travels with chefs to eat healthy meals. Andre takes naps before each concert to stay fresh. He knows one bad night can ruin his reputation and lose millions. After every show, Andre likes to celebrate with his musicians. They share good wine and talk casually. This isn't just a business to him. It's a passion. His life was driven by a deep passion for music. His hard work paid off in a big way. Andre's album sales were outstanding. Even with streaming and downloads, his label, Universal Music, had worked with him for over 20 years. That partnership brought huge success. In 2 decades, Andre sold more than 40 million albums worldwide, numbers usually seen with pop stars, not violinists. Despite reports that DVDs were no longer popular, Andre's fans still bought millions each year. Many of these were recordings of his famous summer concerts at Mastic. He filmed the shows annually, edited them carefully, and fans eagerly bought them. This proved Andre's belief that his audience preferred physical, real items they could hold. Andre wasn't just a talented player. He was a showman who knew exactly what his fans liked. He often released themed albums like his hit movie Themes Collection, which included songs like My Heart Will Go On. He admitted he rarely wrote new music from scratch. Instead, he took old classics and made them his own with new arrangements. This approach worked every time. Each album became a bestseller, supporting his growing empire and paying his team well. But keeping up this level of success was hard. Andre faced constant pressure to fill seats and sell records. Without sponsors or donors, every choice he made was risky. Even during a global pandemic, he kept moving at full speed. When concerts stopped, He focused on community by baking cakes for neighbors. He stayed motivated and connected. He used the downtime to plan big projects like a special movie event for his 75th birthday in 2025. Called The Dream Continues, it featured never-before-seen performances from his tours, shown in cinemas worldwide. It was a grand celebration of his life. From a boy dreaming in mastic to a star loved worldwide, Andre's secret was simple: hard work, discipline, and taking chances. His father-in-law, Edgar Cayman, who was Jewish, had a big impact on him. Edgar's collection of 300 vinyl records introduced Andre to music he'd never heard before. These records shaped his style and made his music accessible to millions who never thought they would love classical sounds. Songs like Hava Nagila, a Jewish folk tune, became huge hits at his shows. His version of this song on YouTube alone has over 14 million views. Andre performed everywhere, even in Israel, where he received standing ovations for local songs like Jerusalem of Gold. Despite his success, Andre stayed true to his roots. For his 75th birthday, he threw a big boat party in his hometown of Mastic. His entire orchestra was there. Fans worldwide watched through cinema screenings. They saw highlights of Andre's unforgettable decades of performances. Andre built something few believed was possible: a big private orchestra. He earned worldwide fame and a fortune that made his family proud and a little nervous.